Because you are proactive, you were there, you were answering the questions, you were also answering. You also bad people were answering from there also. So after lunch, what happened? Did somebody give you something, food that you were able to forget it? Now, pay attention what I'll be teaching. And if I ask any kind of question, if I don't get answer, I'll end the session right there and then. Okay? And if you don't ask any kind of questions or any kind of doubts, if you have, I don't know how I'll be teaching you. Okay? I won't be able to know what you are going to understand or not. Okay? Got it? I got yes from this. What else is happening there? Say it aloud. More. Have you done lunch? What was in your lunch? See, you guys don't even know what was in your lunch. Sorry? You can say it aloud, it's fine. I am vegetarian, that doesn't mean like I won't be able to hear those things. Say it aloud. If it is non-veg, I don't mind it. What was in your lunch? Each and everyone, tell me. Say it aloud together. Right? Okay. Then next. Oh, it was for us. What was for you? It was same. Okay. Next. Okay. Next. Say it together. Why are you not saying it? Even you are not able to answer a simple question, what was in your lunch? How are you able to understand these things? Once you start speaking, you will be able to know things. They speak. Karthik, you are not speaking. You are saying they should ask. Now, answer again the same question. I won't start before you answer. Let it be. I won't cover the session. Huh? If you are not able to answer, wait a minute. If you are not able to answer in English, answer in your native language. Karthik will translate it for me, or his team will translate it for me. I don't mind it. I even said it in the start of the session itself that if I'm not comfortable in English, it's fine. We have Karthik and his team to answer it in English. Okay, but answer in your native language. What was in your food, in your lunch? Alright, so in the previous session, we understood about these terminologies. Can anybody say this name? Just say it. I don't want to understand the meaning. Just repeat after me. Tokenization. POS. What's the full form? Then, 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 then. Good. So, in the tokenization, what did we learn? Sentence tokenization, splitting this paragraph or sentence into multiple sections. Which are those sections? You have three sections, right? What were those? Those who know, speak it aloud. Okay, so words, sentence, characters. What are characters? Single letters. Correct? In layman terms, it's letters. Words, words. If I give you a sentence, will you be able to split it right now? Okay. Split this sentence. Just dictate it. How many words it will be for the first line? For the first line, A, I, and one, and one, or how will something? Huh? Different, right? So if I want to do it for characters, how many characters? Or gap the consonant, not for a gap the consonant. How many words? How many characters? Characters, characters. How many I the consonant? Okay, good. How many sentences? For the whole, how? One, two, three, four, five. Correct? Good. Organization, understood? Any doubts? Let's move ahead with what was the next one? Part of speech. In English, what are the part of speech? Correct. There are so many. Correct. So now, I want to understand what are the part of speech present. How should I understand it? Let's go down and tag it. Okay? Now, what did we do here? Check. In the first line, what does it do? Word, as per the name suggests, it does word tokenization, correct? Everybody speak from your mouth, not from your head. Okay. I'm getting only yes from here, there is yes from here. Good. Now, the next part. What's the second line? Pause, tag. We are currently tagging all the words with parts of speech. Correct. So, all the part of speech is in short forms. Remember what we did for NLP to check? What did we do? What was this process? Did we Google it or did we search somewhere else? What was the full form? is present in the whole paragraph, how much U is present in the whole paragraph, we were checking those parts, correct? So if we check here, where was it? See, we're printing those, right? Now let's try to print word to count. Okay, let's try. See, you want to see it? Clear last? You want to see it? How much is for vary? How much is the count for vary? Last, politics. Last, able to see it? Able to see the screen or should I zoom in more? Able to see it? Say yes. No, not from here. I want from there. Why are you not speaking? Now the next part is to vectorize it. How? In the bag of words, each and every bag will have count of it, right? And since it's a bag, you have to just pull it and use it, correct? So to use it, we have to check if that word, which is tokenized, let's say we start tokenizing the data which we have, that is a paragraph. Okay, we tokenized it. Now, then comparing it with the words which we have in the frequent words. Okay, so if it is able to match it, then we append 1. If the vector is not able to match it, then 0. Correct? Why do we do this? Why do we do this? In the bag of words. Anybody? Don't remember? Say no if you don't remember. No, right? Be confident while saying no. Be confident and say no properly. Don't be like no. Say no. Say okay. Anyway, yeah. Able to speak it or not? Say no. Good. Now, when we are learning about this, we were checking how exactly it looks like in a mathematical term. What are vectors? Has anybody heard about eigenvectors, eigenvalues? Yes? No? Correct. So if you refer to that, it's similar to it. Eigenvalues, eigenvectors are used in NLP, ML models. So if you know it perfectly, even if you know it a bit, it's fine. It is good. It helps you improve your NLP knowledge. So refer to that and make sure you know about those formulas and how you use them. Okay? Because it will not only help you in NLP but also in RAG. Vectors are used everywhere. Now, if you compare it with the vectors, at that time we have array, or you can also say it as matrix in mathematical term, right? So each and every array has 0, 1 value, correct? It's a list of array. It's an array of array, correct? Just like a matrix. Matrix is made of numbers, and if you make it a bigger matrix, then it will be made of matrices, correct? A similar representation is used for the vectors, because right here if we go back, scroll down a bit, see this? It's an array, and what is the shape? 12 by 99. Okay? This is the shape of matrix, right? Able to understand? What is bag of words? A vector representation of the data which we have. The data currently we have is a paragraph And in the paragraph, we first started with sentence tokenization, then word to count. What we did in the word to count? We are getting the count of words that are repeated. So that we have a count. Let's say Dishan was repeated for 2 times. Correct? You will understand, guys? Good. Then we changed it to vector. Got it? You will understand? Vector representation, you don't need to learn much more about it. You just need a bit of knowledge so that you can understand. Okay? Now, in the next part, currently we covered till bag of words, right? This thank you much. The words which do not have meaning in the sentence. So the first sentence was thank you all very much. And there was a question mark. The reason behind it, it is a question, that's why. So, let's do one more thing. Because here it was able to understand the questions. Let's try something more. Repeat the sentence to the same. We are having a session on the difference. Now, ask me a question. I have it here so you can understand how the question is represented. Okay. See the difference? What was the importance here? Is. But I'm asking is. So what did it give me? Is and question mark. Did I add any kind of question mark? Yes. What if I don't add it? There is no ing or any kind of extra thing. Now, what if we try with lemmatization? What will the difference? There was a bit of difference, right? We tried very and very. There was a difference in I and Y. So, in lemmatization, let's first initialize it. Okay. After initialization, we are adding a new block. In the block, we'll be adding lematizer dot lemma types. Give a word. Building. For running, run or run. Better to see. See the difference? So this is the difference between the tools, and you have to understand. Everything is because of this. What did we learn in these two slides? What is entity? What did he explain to you? Yes, you okay for Maya. Somebody who? What will be saying for yourself also? Don't worry. What did he explain? Can anybody answer? No, not you guys. I know. You know that. The people who are bad, I don't know how they are able to bring the knowledge from our mind. Not sure about you guys. Are they minded us? No. They are listening to what I'm saying. Where are you guys? Are you not able to understand? I told you. What does it?
Whatever I'm saying currently to you, it goes into short-term brain. What I'm asking you is coming from your short-term brain, right? Correct? Similarly, here, so whatever intents and entities we presented to the computer, which is currently stored, it gives you a representation in vectors, correct? And if I say here, as I want to deposit 5,000 into my account, it will go and convert it into vectors, correct? In the number form. It will try to map it with the data I have. So let's say I spread marbles on the floor, and if I want to find a certain similarities, how I will find? By color, by shape, right? Here the similarity will be from numbers, and for our brain we will find similarity with memory and data which was stored, right? So whatever I said right now, how NLP works, it got into your brain, you stored it. When I ask you some question, you check the similarity of the question to the answers you have. If you don't have answer, you stay shush, or else you speak, right? Do you raise your hand? No. So this is how currently works. But here in NLU, it raises a hand saying that sorry, I was not able to understand. This is the raise hand feature we add in NLU. So the process goes, checks in the memory all the data it's had and gives output saying that sure, can you please give me your account number? Correct? If I say it, I want to deposit 5,000. Does it have my account details? No. It will ask me for my account number. So, right now, here I said I want to deposit the money. Process it and ask me, please provide amount of money, because it did not had amount. Similarly, if we go to vector database, how is it designed? It is something different. We just explained it, but we'll have a look at it later. Don't take notes right now. I'll cover this later. Okay? Now, the part which we are waiting for. Let's understand intent classification. make sure whatever I say you take notes, and don't take notes of the code. I already have shared you the GitHub repository. You have the code with you, but what you don't have is the concepts with it. You have to take care of concepts. So who will be able to run the code? Who has cleared the concepts, right? If you don't know the basics how to ride a bike, will you be able to ride it? Even though I can gift you one, will you be able to? No. Then the same thing, I have gifted you the code, but unless and until you understand how it works, you won't be able to learn or run. Now, there is a library known as scikit-learn. It helps to use extract data and process it in a way that we can build a chatbot or smaller one. Do you remember an FAQ chatbot I was explaining in the last session before lunch? FAQ, notification, blah blah blah, blah blah blah, blah blah blah, right? So, what does Jio use, Airtel use? Huh? Did anybody get notification of recharge? No, I didn't need any kind of recharge. Now, the next part is to understand how we can build something like that, something similar. But first, we need to give that intents, right? I have to give them a context. So, to do that, I have to install pip install sklearn. Is it correct? Nope. Let's search what is the package name. sklearn library in Python. See, the name itself is different. It is named as scikit-learn. Now I have to find install. So once you search for install, it will give you a command for installation, right? So even though we have Anaconda, why is Anaconda? Huh? Anaconda, Conda, who knows about it? Systems, before break, we did some kind of session, everybody in the suites who are doing it. They too don't know what is Conda. You know? Yes, why people don't know? Huh? You don't know? You did the installation, you don't know? No, it's not a platform. You cannot see it as a platform. It's a wrong wording. So, yeah. Yes. So, what is a virtual environment? Let's say I create this class. Is it a virtual environment? No. Is Google Meet a virtual environment? Yes. It orchestrates. What is orchestrate? Replicates something which happens in the class, right? It's a virtual environment. Similarly, if you want to create multiple sessions or lectures, what will you do? Create a different Google Meets, correct? For each and every subject, so that you don't get bored in just one meeting, right? Don't get overloaded with information in just one meeting itself, right? You create different lectures at different break times. So what if I want to use one environment for ChatGPT, one environment for FAQ chatbot, one for my personal hacking, one for something else, correct? So it will help me out, and there will also be a place where I want to install X number of version of this package. Here it will be latest, here it will be the older one, correct? Let's say your code is working on this machine, correct? If I want to make this machine also work, how will I do that? You have to use a similar same to same thing, right? Now, if you want to use the same to same thing, you have to keep a virtual environment track. Because if you have installed multiple things, let's say in one environment itself, on your local machine, you have FAQ chatbot, you have Gen AI, you have blah blah blah. Now, for that, you have used only one environment, that is your local machine. You have not created Anaconda different environments for different things. You'll have to find each and every packages which you want to give to that person to run your code onto that machine, correct? So to avoid that situation, we create different environments with Conda, and that's why Anaconda is important. There is Anaconda. If you have more lighter version of your machine, you have Potato machine. Okay, Potato means it cannot run latest technologies. It cannot run heavy things, heavy softwares. Okay, so that is called as Potato machine. My current machine is not Potato. It has RTX 4060, so it is not called as Potato. If somebody has dual core processor or Pentium processor, that is known as Potato machine, because it won't be able to run Anaconda properly and even Windows properly. Now, if you want to run something on your Potato machine, then you have to keep PyEnv or virtual env. This is the name of package. You can note it down on your notes so that it can work at home if you have that kind of machine and you don't want to load multiple things on your machine. That at that time also you can use it. Okay, let's say my current machine is overloaded with LLM models, currently running it. I want it to not install Anaconda so that it does not get a lot of load, right? Or else you want to upload onto a server where you want to do a cost saving. Amazon server gives you free credits of $100, right? Let's say you want to use it, but in free trial you only get this much amount of specifications, this much amount of RAM. Okay, how will you do that? You cannot install Anaconda, it will be heavy. So PyEnv or virtual env can help you out because they are lightweight. You always have to think of lightweight things or tools which can help you to achieve your task, because every time you can face this kind of challenges even in your organization. I have worked with startups, so I know how to avoid this kind of scenarios. But you may start with corporates, correct? They will be using a bigger AWS model which will be taking monthly charges of $5,000, and if a particular startup requests you to join there and you tell them that let's use this machine with this much of GPU, this much of RAM, he'll be saying, are you gone mad? I don't have that much money, I want to get the fundings first, right? So that's why you have to learn how to avoid the scenarios. Okay, always, whenever, even right now I'm teaching it, whatever I'm teaching, you have to always find out how you can do a lightweight work with what I'm teaching. Okay, understood? Okay, was it boring? Okay, for them no, for back yes. Okay, so now let's install scikit-learn. Copy this command and paste it and install. Why do we add exclamation in Jupyter Notebook but not in your command prompt? Have you thought of it? Did you got any kind of doubt? No. Why? Developer job is to doubt. You are from science, guys. If you don't have doubts, then how will you be able to achieve success? There should always be how to, why. How to and why should always be there in your mind. Why did he use exclamation? When he was using in command prompt, he was not using exclamation. No. Since you want to run a particular command, right, which should be ran into your terminal, you have to provide exclamation and then that particular command, so that Jupyter Notebook will understand it is for command prompt, not for code. So if I'm typing a code, you can see no exclamation. When I'm typing a terminal command, which should run in your command prompt, a terminal, I am giving exclamation. Got it? You should always ask why, but not in other sense, but yeah. Now, next part is giving it a data and creating a data frame. For data frame, it does not have pandas. Why it's not having pandas? Okay, I have to import this. No pandas. What will I do? No, import is already done. Pandas. Okay. What it will do? Install. How do you run a particular block in Jupyter Notebook? From keyboard, you use Shift Enter and it runs that particular block. So if I am on this block which is for data, I do Shift Enter and see the number has gone and it gave me a asterisk, means it is running. But when it will run, once the upper one is completed or the previous cell which you have ran before it once completes, then only it will be able to run it. Now PD data frame, it says PD is not defined, so I have to again import it because we did right now installation. Import. Let's see if it is able to import it. Import done. Now data is done. We have to define a data frame. And how does a data frame look like? Just like this. So you can create a data frame out of any dictionary values. We just learned about dictionary, right? What is dictionary? Correct. So right here we created a list of data. It is a table indirectly, right? In a array representation. If I want to change it into more visual representation, this is it. I provided it a context by saying there are two columns. One is text, one is intent. I gave the intent as a number, saying that 1 is for this, 0 is for this. I can even give 2 for some other intent, right? I can even change it to text, saying that chatbot dev course available means course inquiry. Greetings for 0, instead of 0 I can keep it as greetings, right? So we can represent intent any form. Hey guy. Hi. Is my live streaming there? Am I live streaming there? No. Why are they seeing in the screen? Am I visible there? Where? Can you please show me? Because he's live streaming but he's saying that you are not seeing it. And you were sleeping. Must. Now the next part is to provide a training data and the output data. Now there is always X and Y in training, okay? So whenever you are going to train a particular model, there is always a training data and a label for it. So Y is the label and X is just training data. Now right here we have TF-IDF. TF-IDF, what exactly it is? Let's do understand. IDF. TF-IDF. Able to see it? Let me open it in a new tab. Check this out. Okay, able to see it? Able to see the formula? Huh? This is TF-IDF formula. And how does it work? Term with a document. Term frequency with document frequency. What is the full form? Let's understand. This is the full form. Term frequency inverse document frequency. So, do you remember bag of words? We were checking the term frequency, right? Now, after term frequency, we are checking the inverse of the document frequency. What are the documents and the number of documents? So, what exactly these documents represent here? We have 3 documents, okay? The documents represent the each and every training data which we gave. The each row, hi, hello, how are you? Okay? Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. This come under greetings, right? But these 3 are each individual documents present there. Now, let's say we have 3 documents, just like this. Just like the blog explains us, we have 3 documents. Now, in each and every document, we are checking how many times a particular word or particular term occurred. So, as per that, we are training it and giving it a label. Now, as per that, check this out. Check this term frequency. We are giving it equal, or how is it? The more time a term is occurring in a particular sentence or a document, we give it more the value, right? See this. Here, every word has equal importance. Here, check it. How many times? Let's compare it with the sentence which we had. Okay? Check this out. In the first sentence, machine was twice. Second, once. And the third, frequency is twice and is once. So as per that, we'll be giving it numbering. See, machine twice and everything was 1. Then 1 1 1 1 2 and everything was 1, correct? Now in the vector representation, what is it? Repeat after me. Vector representation. So gives me 0.9. The more the value, you have to divide it within 100. Okay. Now the total number of terms were 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 here, correct? So 7 by 1, it gives you the answer. 7, 2 by 7, 1 by 7 and so on and so forth. The multiple is, check this out, 1 by 7, 2 by 7, 1 by 7, correct? If and was repeated thrice, so it would be 3 by 7, correct? So as per that, every particular term gets their own 0 pointer value. Now the second part is to compute IDF. What is the IDF? How do we compute it? Let's see. Can anybody total this machine part 0.4 and 2.3? 0.63, right? And apart from that, how much is it? 1.4, 2.1 and 2.1. This is given by the whole document. Now, these are the term, these are the IDF. How do we calculate the IDF? Anybody read this out? Or everybody read this out? Okay, this is how you are speaking. Are we in musical session? Speak properly. So the first thing we have to look is log of ratio, total number of rows. How many rows were there? 3. The number of rows in a particular document. Are we looking at the rows as a word? Each and every word, right? So the more the words, the more the rows. Now, how will IDF measure the rareness of the term? A word like a and the show up in all the documents, but the rare words is not in all the documents. Do we use stopwords for that? Correct? Remove all the common words, a and the and, right? To make it more proper. So now in here, total number of documents n 2. For us n was 3, right? Then for the document IDF by K, you are doing DF of K, right? What is K? K is the count of word K, right? Bag of words, how much was the count? 2, correct? In the ith document. So let's say here the cat see the mouse. The is twice, correct? And everything else is just once. Now, if I want to find IDF, how will I find it? See, for the word the, number is 2. TF1. See, TF1, TF0. Check this out. How should I highlight it? Yeah. Check this section. 0, 1. Right? 0 is the first document. In programming, everything starts from 0 and then 1. 0th sentence has the twice. Second sentence has the 1. Then TF-IDF. L of 1 plus 2, 1 plus 2 plus 1. Because we are checking for both the documents. And it gives us 1. So how did it give us 1? And how did we get the TF-IDF? Can anybody explain? The TF-IDF for 0th and for 1. See the difference. And for only a word is different. We are getting logarithm. If you don't know logarithm, don't worry. You don't have to bang your head this many times for a simple thing. Okay? You just need to understand the concept so that you can explain it to anybody. Okay, you can go home once we complete this. You can go home, look how you can calculate it, and bring me tomorrow your questions or any problems you have with this. Okay, you still get doubt, we can have end of the session, we can have a doubt clarity session. Okay, good, sounds good. Now let's move ahead, because I can see on your face that you are still doubtful like how it is actually working. I still don't know how to understand it. Unless and until you practice it, you won't be able to understand. Okay, this is the fundamental of developer or programmer. You have to practice, you have to see it by yourself that this is how it works. Just like when you are solving your math equations, once you solve it, you got to know, okay, this is how it works. This is how you get the solution. Similarly here, we are doing the same thing. It's just you have to practice it. Okay? Now, in here, once we do the TF idea of vectorization, we are giving it a 0-point vector, right? After giving it a vector, we have to fit it. So, don't worry, don't go into these jargons. We are currently giving it a proper naming conventions in a vectorized form. A naming convention in a mathematical form, in numerical form. Okay? Because machine do not understand words. Now, let's try testing it out. Array predicted for first intent. Are chatbot seats available? How did it work? Now, to understand how it works, we have to check with X. Check the first block, X and Y. df text and df intent. We provided two things, right? And in there, we then vectorized our X. Correct? Saying it, this is the vectorization for chatbot seats. Anybody asks for chatbots, you have to find it in this place. Okay? If anybody greets you, give it in this place. So now, every particular word has a vector like 0 point something, correct? Now that 0 point something, try it in the graph. Try it here. Now, if I draw something in this, I make dots. Let's consider this as a marbles, okay? And this area was considered as 1 and this area was considered as 0. Okay? Now, since this area was considered as 1 and 0, when I say something, where is my chat bot? Okay? Anything about chatbot, it will go inside the 1 and check it, because when it got converted to vector, it was representing something here. So when it did the similarity search, when it was trying to search with the same numerical form, it found it in the 1, in this section, saying that hey, this matches here. This particular term matches in this graph. So it is part of one intent, which is for chatbot inquiry. But if the user had said hello, then go to 0, because it was something like this and this was something like this. 0.1, this was 0.2. So 0.1 was found in one cluster and 0.2 was found in 0 cluster. Okay, consider a cluster. Okay, so now if I want to find him in a cluster, I'll go to his class, correct, to find him, and if I want to find her, then I'll go to her class. Similarly, here if I want to find a chatbot, I'll go to that cluster and If I want to find hello, I'll go to 0 cluster. Got it? Always and always remember patterns. Even machine understand patterns. So you have to understand that if machine is able to understand patterns, I'll give it a pattern to understand it. I gave it a pattern saying that, where is my mouse? Okay. I gave it a pattern right here. Is chatbot dev course available? Are there seats? I want to enroll in chatbot development. 2. Number 1. This is the pattern for number 1. If any question comes up, this is the pattern. If any questions comes with this kind of pattern, you have to consider it as 0. Okay. Whenever you go to an exam, you first check the previous year question papers, right? You check for the patterns and only study for those questions which are coming up again and again. Similarly, and if you don't find a question which is relevant to you, or it was not present in your question paper or syllabus, what do you say? Out of syllabus. Right? Similarly, if a question comes up out of the scope, for here it's not syllabus, it's out of the scope, what will the bot say? Sorry, I was not able to understand. Can you please repeat? Can you please rephrase? That is known as fallback. Okay? In chatbot term, it is known as fallback. Out of syllabus is known as fallback. So whenever you get out of syllabus question, you should go for fallback. Now, we got to know about how we can use intent classification. Currently, in the today's world, intent classification is used very less in chatbots. Very means very less. It is still used in TCS because TCS uses a technology known as RASA, and that is a framework for building chatbots. If you want to try it out, I have a repository. I'll give you the link to Karthik. He will share it in your group. You can test it out. It would be damn easy for you because you have learned right now. Do you want to check it out? The repository, you have to answer what that file means. Okay? Let me open it. This is a customer care chatbot. I got into data. What are there? Rules and NLU. Something NLU came up. So in here, I got into one of the file which is nlu.yml. See. Something similar, right? We just saw something related to this. Intent, great. And you gave the examples saying that this is how greet should look like. If anybody asks you greet, then you greet. Goodbye. Then affirm, deny, correct? Contact us, out of scope. If you give them out of scope, they won't try to process it much. So if you are, if you know in your syllabus that you won't be getting Java in your exam, so you won't be preparing for it, right? If you get that kind of question, you will say, sir, this is not part of our syllabus, correct? Similarly, you won't have to process at that time that was this question part of my syllabus? You won't have to, right? Similarly, here for chatbot also, you have to reduce the processing time. So I gave it a auto scope that if somebody asks for pizza, don't answer it. If somebody asks for mathematical question, don't answer it. And if somebody asks for YouTube, call me back or anything, don't answer it. Or give it a small fallback saying that, sorry, I cannot answer. Then there are FAQs. In FAQ, there are also different kinds of data present in chit chat. Like if somebody wants to just come to the bot and chit chat saying, hi, hello, how are you, what do you do, and all those things. And there is FAQ, a proper FAQ. What is shipping duration? What is payment modes? What are return policy? right? Now you can see here I have added a slash, major and minor. It's like that. So this is the parent of shipping duration. It comes under category of FAQ. So if you find something in FAQ, then you go to this. How will it happen? So I made a cluster right here. This is a major cluster. In that cluster there are small clusters. Okay. So in your college there are different departments, but your college is the head, right? College is superset. In there are subset, ECE, EEE, CSE, IT, right? There are subsets. So if somebody wants to understand about CSE, they'll first go to your college, inquiry desk, right? The inquiry desk will take them to CSE department. Similarly here, if somebody has an FAQ, they'll ask in the FAQ. If it is related to FAQ, it will take to the required intent. That is the sub intent. That is shipping duration, payment mode, return policy and track product. Correct? And the same was for chit chat, where we had major intent and sub intent. Now what are rules and what are stories? See, what I added here is provided intent and action. So this is a rule that if somebody comes to your reception, if it is related to FAQ, go to FAQ. If it is related to chit chat, go to chit chat. If it is out of scope, then say out of scope. That's it. Then we have goodbye. If the user says goodbye, you have to say goodbye, not hi. So you have to provide that information to the bot, because bot does not know how to respond. And after that, if somebody says out of scope, you have to say out of scope. You cannot say anything else. Now in stories, story has something. So in stories we provide a flow, how the conversation flow should look like. So do you remember in this workshop I have agenda, that this is how I should go with the flow, right? Just like this, a particular chatbot should also have a flow of conversation. User can try to manipulate that conversation by asking a question up and down, but a chatbot should have knowledge that if the user is asking something, I have to provide some response to it. So if the user first started with greet, then ask for chit chat, I should respond to chit chat. There could be cases where user starts from chit chat and then does the greeting. That could also be scenario. Then other than that, we have context us form, where it will go into the contact us and respond. But right here we are providing that utter FAQ. Where is that utter FAQ present? It is present in domain.yml. Domain, just like the name suggests, it is a domain, okay, where everything is present. It is a universe. So do you remember we added this kind of intents? We added intents. We have to provide the names here so that bot can understand I have this intents and I have to only look for them, not other than that. Then if you don't understand slots, it's easy to understand. It is a memory of the bot. So let's say user said my name is Deshant, okay, it should understand the name. So to understand the name, it will store the name in here. To understand it, it comes from entities, but here we are just getting it as a text. So whatever name you are giving me, I'll take it. I won't ask the question saying that hey, this is incorrect name, because a name does not have a correction. A user can have any kind of name and the database may not have it, right? Now email address. For email address there is a pattern. Name, a text, @ then the domain name, right? So we use entity for it. Even the phone number has a pattern. First country code, then it should be 10 digit, right? It cannot be 9 digit. So that's why you are using entities. Then the responses. As we discussed, we have responses. Do you remember we had utter greet? This is the response for utter greet. We had utter chit chat. It has sub utterance as mood unhappy. How to name it? Give the utter and the name of your FAQ. Intent. Okay, this was the intent name with the major intent and sub intent. Now, similarly for chit chat, mood greet and FAQs. See. Easy? Understanding? Here, but back, everybody are like, what is happening? Blinding nights? Then for the contact us form, we are asking the user for few information such as utter ask name, utter ask email, phone number, like this. So whenever a user is saying, can you please contact me back, or I want to contact you about few things, I have difficulties with creating or placing the order. So we say that you can contact us, please, we'll contact you back, please provide me the information. We'll ask for name, email and phone number and the message which you have. Similarly, we'll ask for the confirm details, right? Any feedback form or anything in the chat bot, if you want to convert it, you ask for the email address and phone number first, and then you confirm the details saying that this is the information you gave me, is it correct or incorrect? If they say no, then restart, ask the information, then again ask it, right? Similar to that, we currently have this kind of format, but we won't be using this now. It's now time to take a break for 10 minutes, grasp what I said, hold on to that thought, and we'll move ahead with our main area of focus, that is generative AI. I'll complete it and then you will have to go, but we'll extend this session till 5 o'clock. Any kind of like limitations? They have it. Or should I degree college? But you have to ask her that we have to do it because I cannot skip today's workshop. Tomorrow is the last day, and if I do everything tomorrow, then it would be quite hectic for everybody. Okay? Because today everything was like theory. We should have large language models. So generative AI is different from the other different kinds of AI, other kinds of transformer models. This is a homework that search for transformer models later and give me the answer for it in the tomorrow's session. Okay? Now, how does prompt engineering work and why do we use it? So mostly prompt engineering is to get the output and in the most appropriative way, where what you try to do is you try to mimic like human, like let's say just like I mentioned you, think like a $1 billion CEO and you have to build a brand with $10, right? So what did I do here? I gave it as a scenario, like a human being, that you are this and give me a suggestion. Now you have to make sure that you use proper wordings. So what do I mean by wordings? Wordings is something you have to make sure that it is meaningful. It has a meaningful symbols also and meaningful data. Such as, let's say I am asking to ChatGPT, this is the code, fix it. It will fix whatever there is in terms of ChatGPT is incorrect. Okay? So if I give you something, as per your knowledge, you will try to fix it, right? So if a particular person is experienced in it, then he will fix it in a different way, and the person who is non-experienced, right? There would be difference. Similarly, here, if you don't provide it a proper prompt and say fix this, it will fix as per the knowledge area it has. And if you give a proper sentence saying that this current Python code, can you please fix this, only the section which handles API calls or chatbot calls, okay? It will only look at that code and fix it. Any other thing, he will write it in a suggestion as a text, correct? This is how you do prompt engineering. And what is prompt? It's a natural language text that requires a generative AI for a specific task. Just like you said, it's a command to do a task, correct? Now, large language models are flexible and can perform various tasks, right? It can give you, first is text, second is image, and nowadays also video. Then documents, it can even summarize the documents which you have. It depends completely on the domain of large language models, like how it will react, correct? Now, how was the evolution? Even now, GPT, GPT-2 and GPT-3, these are present, but we use GPT-4, right? On ChatGPT. GPT-1 and GPT-2 were earlier used for chatbots, and they are still openly available on Hugging Face. And now on LM Studio, I would request you to download a model. LM Studio, once you open it, it would look something like this. It's a chat section. I have done multiple chats, that's why I am able to see it. Click on Discover. There is a search icon, Discover. So you will be able to see multiple models, right? Correct? Now, if you see, there is this DeepSeek. Don't get excited. It is not actual DeepSeek. Check the name, DeepSeek R1 Distill, and in bracket there are Quen and Llama. What is different between Distill and non-Distill models? So Distill means, let's say I am currently teaching you generative AI, okay? So you all have a bit of knowledge of generative AI, but I know how to do it, the complete thing. You are being distilled and I am the original one. It's like that. DeepSeek only has one original model, that is DeepSeek R1671B, which uses 404 GB of RAM, and it will need a high-end GPU. So to achieve it, we currently don't have that kind of resources. So what we did is distilled it, mixed it with Llama or Quen models, and gave it a few information of DeepSeek LLM model and made it a distilled. Okay, it's a mixture. Now in LM Studio, you have to download, have to first of all search for it, because it won't be looking on the first section. Now in the Llama 3.21b, this model 3.21b, because I don't want to overload your machines. Okay, currently you have 8 GB of DDR memory, right? Every machine has that, so it can only run this model. Don't try more than 1B model. There are also 3B and 7B models, right? So if you want to try that out, we can try it tomorrow after the session on my machine. Okay, so you have to click on download. There would be a download button there. Currently I've already downloaded it, so it does not show up. Yes, so just like here it is down, you have to click on download. Okay, once you have downloaded it, you have to go into the chat section. On top of it, click on select model. I currently have this many models. Okay, so I'll select any one of them for which I want to chat. But first I'll need to click on new chat because I don't want to disrupt the context of other chats. I'll be using Quen 14b, and you might be seeing something like this. What exactly it is? So currently do not have GPU, so you don't need to do GPU offload. It only asks for GPU offload and all those things if your machine is capable of it. Okay, or else it will directly load the model. Now you might be seeing something like this. On top there is a model selected and there is a chat option, right? I'll have to wait unless the model gets loaded. Until unless. See, loaded. Say hi. Say hi to it. Say hi and click on enter. It gave you quick response, right? Type just hi and don't click on enter. See the input tokens. Count 1 right here below it. Correct? Input token count 1. How high? How are you? Okay. So how many spaces we have currently? 1, 2, 3, and there are only 4 words. Correct? So how many token? 4. Correct? Works? So this is how we understood about tokens. What are tokens in here? It checks it words. Now try something. Try asking it a question which you think it would be good. So, want to try something? Try asking it a particular question which you might think is feasible. And if you want to try me out on this particular model, give me the question, because currently this is more bigger model than what we have currently. Okay, this is 14B model. Tell me what kind of question you want to ask. Think of anything, I'll ask. Huh? Sorry?
Can we ask on what data set?
Oh, you can ask. It is a bit slow, but it is able to answer. What do you call this response? Stream response. Okay. So currently you are seeing it as like each and every word was streaming, right? Each and every word was getting displayed instead of the whole chat together, right? So this is known as stream response, streamed response, where each and every word which is getting generated, you're getting it in a list slowly in async manner, and you're displaying it here. So what did it say? I was trained on large and diverse data set that includes text from web, books, articles and other sources. Because this currently model helps you with conversation. Now if I change this model to DeepSeek Coder V2 Lite, this particular model which I have kept here is more into coding. So if I want to ask questions related to coding, it is able to answer properly without any errors. So right now we are learning about how to do a prompt engineering. So if I go here and ask, can you please give me code for, tell me what kind of code do you want? Think of anything, tell me, any application or anything. Sorry? Login page. For which technology? Login page for my website in which language, in which framework you want? HTML, then just HTML, CSS and JavaScript. Okay, let's try it. HTML, CSS and JS. Enter. So I said please give me a code for login page for my website in HTML, CSS and JS. Correct? Check this out. This is not how we should ask a question to AI. I'll show you a change in the prompt and we'll try that out. Okay. While it's generating the code, check here on the right hand side. We currently have system prompt, a preset, settings, sampling and structure output. The major focus for us is should be on system prompt. A defined prompt which we should be using. Let's say you are currently using this AI model or LM model for coding purpose with your website project. Okay. So what if I change this into I created a scenario that webmaster with enough experience with web technologies, HTML, CSS and JS. You have to create a login page which uses modern and minimalistic design. I even provided a design scenario. So let's see how much difference which we get here, and we'll try to put both of them into a index.html file and see the difference. Okay. And while it's doing that, right here below I'm getting a CPU usage percentage and the RAM usage. Currently my RAM has been used as 6 GB, CPU is used 37% for just this code, because everything is happening on GPU. Okay, let's try this out. Let me add it onto the HTML files. Right here we have to make sure, since we only provided portfolio website, your experience and contact information part, it won't be having a knowledge about colors, okay, and what kind of data you want to put in. See, it is giving me HTML structures, and it has also added step 2 as creating styles and the scripts JS and HTML, and add a folder named as components for React components if you decide to use them. Proper? So now listen to this. My fans are working really hard to keep my machine cool. Okay, so this is the result of using LLM models. That's why I opted for you guys not to use heavy models, because it does not have a cooling system. Okay, and it does not have enough RAM for it to use. 8 GB RAM won't be enough for your 8B models also. You can try maximum, you can try for 3B models, max to max. Like it won't get to bottleneck, but it will work. What is bottleneck? It is at the edge, like when you shake the Coca-Cola bottle, it will burst out, right? So bottleneck is below it. This is till the bottle's neck. Okay, as the name suggests. It added all those data. We won't be experimenting this with adding it onto our machines. Okay, so this is our today's session about prompt engineering, about learning the NLP techniques. You already have the code with you, and I would suggest you to go through it. Tomorrow bring your doubts. We'll have a doubt clearing session also, but first we'll be going with creation of prompt engineering chatbot with the LLM which we used. Okay, done. We'll be tomorrow using Olama instead of LM Studio. Got it? Today LM Studio, I give you the tool LM Studio so that you do not have to rely on your terminal to ask questions. You have the IDE like this to directly ask questions and use your own chat GPT. But tomorrow we'll be more into building the chatbots and more of like the competition part, where I'll be giving the prizes. Okay, so make sure you're prepared and do some research yourself with LLM and all those things. Bring doubts. That's it. Okay, see you then. Bye bye.